Hello and welcome to this Affinity Photo iPad tutorial. This is a beginner's guide part 2, and we are sort of really going back to the beginning, and we're going to look at this of how you can open projects and pictures and look at the sort of interface of the iPad version. Now, I only recently brought this iPad version. I've been using photo editing on my PC for years, so I'm more used to how the PC version works. So this is more a case of helping people like myself who have only sort of just recently brought the iPad version and want to know how it compares to the PC version. So when you open Affinity Photo, at the top part of the screen you have 4 icons, which is a plus sign, question mark, a cog and a little person's head. Below that you will have any images that you've opened or worked on, and underneath that you'll have tutorials and samples. So I'm going to work in reverse order here. If I click on samples, this will show you some samples of images that Serif have done, and you can look at them and just enjoy them if you like that sort of thing. I'll come back to the home page. You click on tutorials, it will open up the web page, and it has all these tutorials made by Serif, and I would advise watching as many of these as you can if you're sort of just starting out. And you have along up here, you've got like all the videos, and you've got basic operations, advanced, creative retouching, creative tools, filters and adjustments, and a few others if I export persona, things like that. So I would advise looking at those. And if I come out of that, come back into Affinity Photo. Now, the projects that you've worked on in the past will keep coming back every time you open up Affinity Photo. And I don't know whether this will remove them from the iPad or it will just close them down. I'm not 100% certain. But underneath each of these images that I have open up here, it has like, it just says untitled because I've not named, or it has like image-5940, which is the name of that image. Next to that you have the size, and to the right of that there's 3 lines, which is the menu. And if you click on that menu, you can see I'm used to a PC, I keep saying click rather than touch the screen. And then you can get a menu where you can close that down or rename it or duplicate it or save it. But I'm going to close this one down, and then it says, do you want to close? So I'll click yes. So that removes that from the home page, so I don't have to get that every time I open up an image. So let me just open up an image just by tapping on it. And this is our cat in some silly pose. But we're looking at the interface here, and as you can see, the background here, I have a sort of light grey. So if I go back to the home page, now by default the background was quite dark, and when I opened up a darker image I couldn't really see the edges of where the picture was. So I wanted to know how to change that. And the thing is, this cog at the top here, we got these 4 icons. That cog is the settings. And if you click on that, you have down the left here the different main headings, and on the right will be the options for that setting. So it starts off on the General tab, and you have options here which I don't think there's anything that I've changed. But if you come to the interface, you can see in the very top option is the background grey level. Now I've set mine on 50% because, like I said, I found the dark grey it started with was too dark for like when I was doing dark pictures, and if you have it too far to the right, you start to lose the edges of like a new white document. So I've set mine at 50% so it's okay for either dark or light images. A bit further down here, I have turned on show the undo and redo buttons. Now, I'm not very good at remembering whether you need to use 2 fingers or 3 fingers or 1 finger to do certain things, and I believe the undo is tap with 2 fingers and redo is tap with 3 fingers, I think. But I personally find it easier just to have the redo and undo buttons on the interface, so I have turned that on. At the top there is left hand mode, which I've not turned on because I'm right-handed, but if you are left-handed you can turn that on and the tools will then be on the right rather than the left, but that is a personal choice. We then come to colour, which I haven't touched, I don't think. Tools, again I don't think I've touched anything in here. Then you have like pencils, fonts. Shortcuts is if you've got a keyboard attached to your iPad and you can use keyboard shortcuts. And then you've got resets and benchmark. And then when you've finished, in the bottom right there is a done button, so you just tap on that to go back to your home page. The icon to the right of the cog is a little man's head, I suppose, and this is your account. And if you click on it, it'll open up the sort of all the things that you may have brought. Now obviously I brought quite a few things for my PC, but you can download them from here onto your iPad. And in the top right it also tells you what version of Affinity Photo you are currently running. So at the moment I've got 1.10.3 and my operating system is iOS 14. But like I said, you've got all these different assets and overlays and things and brushes that I have brought from Serif over the years for my PC, but I can download them into this version on the iPad. Again, bottom right, I can close the account tab. Now to the left of the cog there is the question mark, and this is the help file, which again, as a beginner or even as an advanced user that needs help, you can click on that and get the help file and find out how to do things in Affinity Photo iPad. Let me just click on this cross at the top right to close that. And the last one to look at is this plus sign, which is how to open a new document. And then, so you can open just a new plain document, or from the clipboard, or from the iCloud, from photos, and then you've got like new like stacks and panoramas and focus merge and HDR image merge. So the main ones you're going to be using would be either new document or downloading from the cloud or from your photos. So let's start with a new document. Tap on that. Now on the left we have the various options, and on the right you can you have like the dimensions. So it always sort of annoying for me anyway, opens up in the photo options. I personally would like it to remember the last thing I did like I can do on the PC, but I'm going to select print, and then you have below that you have the various sizes that you can use. I'm going to leave mine on A4, and then you can change to use inches or millimeters or centimeters, but I'll leave it on millimeters. And then to the right you can also change the sizes by just clicking on like the width, height and DPI and changing those. You can, I believe you can just click and rotate and it will go up or down, and or you can just click in the middle of that and then enter a number that way. Below that you can have the orientation, which by default is on portrait, but you can change that to landscape, and also by default it will open with a white background, but you can have it with a transparent background by clicking on that checkered icon, and then when you're happy just click OK and it will open up the document. Now every time I've opened this, it's too big for the screen, so you just have to sort of use your two fingers and do a pinch motion to get this into position. And as you can see, I have a sort of 50% grey background rather than the dark background it starts with by default. So I will leave this tutorial at this point, and part 2 will be having a closer look at the interface at this point. So thank you for watching and goodbye.